Hello, I'm Karin Aguilar San Juan, and we're broadcasting to you from Minnesota, the land of Lake Wobegon, the home of Prince, and the epicenter of the George Floyd Rebellion, where flames are still burning. I want to dedicate this talk to the memory of George Floyd and to Amado Canam Rodriguez. May they be free from suffering and rest in peace. And I want to acknowledge the students in Critical Prison Studies at Macalester College this fall. I'm inspired by your fearlessness and your dedication to social justice. My talk is about the Philippine Constabulary, a special police force employed by the U.S. government to subdue and pacify Filipino nationalists during the first half of the 20th century. I know it's a faraway place and a very long time ago, in a tropical climate so different from this one. But the Philippine Constabulary matters because of the specific methods of covert surveillance and social control that they rehearsed and refined to pacify and eliminate opposition. Their methods of colonial rule fed back into the United States during World War I and deeply influenced ideas about policing, racism, domestic civil liberties, and foreign wars. I got turned on to the Philippines as an originating point for the U.S. police by Alex Vitale's book End of Policing, Heather Gray's Justice Initiative blog, and Alfred McCoy's book-length study, Policing America's Empire, the United States, the Philippines, and the Rise of the Surveillance State. Most people don't even know where the Philippines is. But if they know something about it, they believe that the United States went there to free the Filipinos from the tyranny of Spain. And then, voila, in 1946, the Philippines turned itself into an independent nation, the first democracy in Asia. The truth is otherwise. After the Spaniards were defeated in 1898, the U.S. occupation of the Philippines required years of brutal combat, covert operations, and hundreds and thousands of casualties. Filipino nationalists were deemed rebels and insurgents. Their guerrilla war relied on indigenous knowledge and weaponry, with no outside sources of reinforcement. Filipino nationalists continued their revolution that started during Spanish times, fighting and dying for independence from the United States. Even though the U.S. was far superior to the Filipinos in terms of military force, the U.S. had no idea where to focus its efforts to control them. So the Insular Constabulary, later known as the Philippine Constabulary, included former Filipino insurgents who provided necessary intelligence to the U.S. military, with the goal of crushing Filipino sovereignty and solidifying U.S. control of the archipelago. The constabulary refined secret techniques of surveillance and data management, including reports, photographs, and fingerprinting. This allowed the U.S. to identify, monitor, capture, and eliminate Filipinos who insisted on sovereignty, whether in the urban maze of Manila or the surrounding countryside. The resulting collaboration between formal colonial governance using military power and a netherworld of police coercion and surveillance in the Philippines advanced a menu of options for building future U.S. client states in other parts of the world, from Central America and the Caribbean to Southeast Asia, including Vietnam, Laos, and Cambodia, and then in the Middle East. It took continuous and sustained military and police effort for the United States to pacify Filipino rebels and to co-opt Filipino elites. Narratives of rescuing and saving the little brown brothers and subduing and eliminating dark-skinned savages drew on familiar racist fantasies of white Western civilization and superiority. In a future talk, I'll tell you about the many critics who spoke out forcefully against U.S. occupation of the Philippines, from Mark Twain to W.E.B. Du Bois, and the amazing tale of David Fagan, a Black American soldier who recognized the racist underpinnings of the war, defected from the U.S. Army, and join the Filipino insurgents. Thank you for supporting the Scholar Strike and for tuning in to this station. Makibaka, wag matakot. Dare to struggle, dare to win.